before I plant a kowhai tree, viticulturalist Steve is walking me through the on-site nursery. I suppose you're working with the vines and you're working with these native species?
Yes, yep, we like to combine the two.
Yeah, great. What sorts of plants have you got here?
So we've got a mixture of plants from kowhai, with tussocks here in front of us.
These guys are tussocks?
Yes, yep.
And these are the kowhai, they're the big old tree that you were talking about, Nick?
Yes, that's
Yep.
correct. Yep. We have cabbage trees over here in the back. We have flaxes.
These flaxes?
Those are cabbage trees.
Yes, that's what I
These ones
thought.
here are flaxes.
Yep.
And we also have a few other native trees such as ribbonwoods.
So how many plants are you sort of putting in the ground?
We're
Every
aiming
year?
for about 5,000
Okay.
plants a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 500 of those are the kowhai from the old man kowhai up on top of the hill.
And that's these little these ones?
Yes.
Yep.
And so you get all of your seeds from that tree?
For the kowhai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's something we enjoy, it's something that we're passionate about, and you know, it really adds diversity into what we're doing here. We come to work, we aren't just grape growers, we're gardeners in a sense.
And
It's pretty cool.
conservationists?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are we going to do some planting?
Yes, we are. Yep.
Great.
We're going to plant a couple of kowhai.
Okay, cool. Let's go get our hands dirty.
Cool.
Let's go.
After picking our kowhai trees, we're heading up into the hills overlooking Lake Dunstan. So I'm at the Takano Conservation Area. I've got my kowhai tree. I'm going to plant it.
Yes, we are. Yep.
I've dug a hole. I've definitely dug it myself, expertly. Now what?
Right, we're going to take the kowhai out of its bag.
Okay.
Take it a bag over the hole.
Okay. And do I put anything in it before I tip it in?
Yes, we do. We put some
Put a bit of,
compost and fertiliser in.
just a bit of food to get it going?
Yep.
What's it made of?
Mainly
Bits and
peat
bobs?
and bark.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Great. Okay. And then I very gently and expertly look at that.
Perfect.
Yes, it was perfect.
Alright, we'll grab the shovel and we'll just put a little bit more dirt around that.
Oh, I'm sitting on the dirt, that's good. Okay, so this will all go back on top. And then once we, because we're both doing this obviously, we put the dirt on, what happens now?
Then we have two products here. They're both made from coconut husks.
So they're
recycled
quite-
coconut husks.
Quite tough?
Yes, yeah. And so one of them suppresses weeds around the plant.
Well, that's this one?
Yep. So it'll be
Oh yeah, you've got some nasty little guys here. Are they native?
No, they're not, unfortunately.
Get out of here. Okay. So this will stop them from growing
Yes.
up
yep.
around it?
Yep.
And then what does this one do?
And this one here just protects the young kowhai from rabbits.
Right, so there's still a problem because you have got a fence around, don't
Yep.
you, to
Property
protect
is
everything?
fenced, but just want to make sure that we give these plants the best start they can have.
And how long does it take for them to sort of mature?
Can take decades for
Right.
them to mature, yeah.
Just like people. Okay, so that's all there,
Yep.
and we thread it on.
And then we thread each side with the bag.
So there's little holes in here.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
so
yes.
the thread through from the top.
So how many of these could you do, or would you do usually in one planting?
Each person could do 50 in
Right.
a day.
So it's pretty labour intensive.
Yeah.
It's a big
Yep.
project.
And there should be two holes
There is one.
on your side
Yep.
and one on my side.
And is that it? That's that?
it. Yeah, it's perfect.
And so then this little guy will have a bit of water?
Yeah, yep. We'll move the irrigation
Oh,
line over.
okay, yep.
Unfortunately, there's not enough annual rainfall in Central Otago to get these guys to thrive for the first few years.
Right.
So we just give them a helping hand.
And then after a few years,
We cut the irrigation back.
okay.
Yep.
And then they just
survive on their own.
grow. So in 50 years or so, you're going to have a forest.
Yes, yep.
Amazing.
Hopefully a forest and a few native birds as well.
Oh, great. Good luck, little guy. Well, I'm a bit thirsty after all that hard work, so I'm heading back to the cellar door to see what wines Dave has lined up for me. So, Dave, I have planted a kowhai tree.
Yes, good for you.
Thank you, and good for you guys too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Contributing to our conservation effort.
Yeah, and the kowhai tree is incredibly important to Takano.
Yeah, it's essentially the fulcrum of our entire ethos. Everything that we do, whether it's making wine or conservation or building buildings, we often go back to the kowhai, the image of it and what it symbolises to us, and then we ask ourselves, you know, are our actions today leaving the legacy we want to leave for the future? We feel that, like a kowhai seed that we're planting at Northburn, this entire project is the seed of something which will blossom for people which come well beyond our time. It's even reflected on our labels, so all of our labels have a kowhai flower, and that helps remind us of why we're doing what we're doing.
And this is the kowhai flower here as well, isn't it?
It is, yep. So in our cellar door here we have all New Zealand artists, and all of their artwork in some way reflects sustainability, conservation, or the kowhai itself. So this piece here is by a well-known New Zealand photographer called Fiona Partington.
It's a gorgeous piece.
The owner of Takano is Californian, Rhonda Lloyd. She married a New Zealander about 20 years ago and fell in love with, not just with him obviously, but with his culture. So in 2016 they purchased the property at Northburn and they began that huge conservation effort that you would have seen with Nick this morning.
Yeah, it's incredible out there. But I mean, this is also incredible. This cellar door is just...
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's a beautiful space, and it's a space which we wanted to use to give people a different sort of wine experience. We want them to feel at home here, and we want it to really be more of a wine lounge than a cellar door. So we invite people to come in, sit, have a glass of wine, not just stand up, taste and leave. So it was designed by architects called Mason & Wales. They're New Zealand's oldest architecture firm, and they really wanted to create something which felt like it had dropped out of the sky, but at the same time felt like it was a part of the landscape. And so this building is cantilevered over the vines below. It gives a beautiful view of the surrounding vineyards and mountains and river. And the materials that it's built from are made to weather, so it'll slowly erode, it'll slowly become more and more a part of its environment.
I mean, it looks like that already, that sort of weathered iron.
Weathered iron and contrasted with a really polished interior, but at the same time very inviting.
Very inviting, just like this glass of Chardonnay.
Yeah, so this is our Chardonnay.
Which you made?
Yes, which I made. This is 2018, which was a beautiful vintage in Central Otago. Chardonnay is probably one of the unsung heroes of the central wine industry. We're really well known for Pinot Noir, and if you look around the world, historically great Pinot Noir regions are also great Chardonnay regions. So
minerality is one of the sort of defining characteristics of a Central Otago Chardonnay?
I feel so. We get really hot days. It can be up to 40 degrees during the day here, but then at night it always flips to the cold, and that diurnal range means that we keep that really flinty acidity, but we get the ripe flavours during the day's ripening. So you get lovely peachy notes, while at the same time retaining that citrusy, flinty minerality. So yeah, I love that wine, and I think Central Otago Chardonnay has just got a brighter and brighter future as people slowly realise what it is.
That's delicious.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's a gentle Chardonnay, but it does have quite a sort of like strong acid through line.
Yeah, that's right. So this Chardonnay, all of our Chardonnays are barrel fermented in French oak, and they stay in oak for 10 months. And we do a lot to build that mid-palate complexity, but the backbone of the wine is that really firm, bright acid. So yeah, we're blessed to have that.
It's so good.
You don't really make fantastic wines, you grow fantastic grapes. And so it's Nick Hunter and it's the team in the vineyard who really deliver what's in this bottle of wine. You know, I can guide it and be a conduit for it, but I don't want to put my stamp on it. I want it to reflect the place that it's from. All the other wine regions are influenced by the sea. They're the main driver of their weather. Central Otago, being a bowl in the mountains, is completely isolated from that maritime influence, and so we can have big tropical cyclones coming through the South Island, and it's just pouring rain in other places, and then it's a beautiful sunny day in Central Otago. So it really is like this little bubble which is separated from the rest of the country, and it makes really unique wines, and it really allows purity of fruit, that expression of terroir. You know, we're not having to make compromised decisions based on bad weather. We really pick at the optimum time. It's the lucky country.